Okay, so I threaded my new nipples on here, oiled the O-rings before I put them in, put it on, reinstalled it. Now we're up in here, gonna see about getting this guy off. So here we go. I just love, see, this is where another person would come in really good handy. When you're doing stuff by yourself, kind of sucks. All right, so wanna do a little tap on it. Don't just reef on it. It's usually that's how you break stuff. In the directions it says to do one side at a time, and I don't know what would be the difference. And you got to use the washer that comes with these things. So I'll grab the washer pack. So I got my washer and my thing. I'm gonna get this thing full of fluid. Guys, make sure you put fluid on the O-ring before you stick it in there. It's always a good thing. Give it some loops so you don't tear. Now, this part I'm using on this is the 1556-10-10, I believe. The instructions are very not good to tell me what to do, and don't show me. And let me tell you guys, whew, this thing's burr city. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to take a little file to that. I don't like burr, you know, quality things supposed to not have burrs on it. Let me get a file and file that. Okay, so I took the O-ring off and I put the washer on because it says you need it. And that's the only way that could really work, I guess. I'm gonna go with that. Now this is a 1-inch pipe. This is because I'm using a stock radiator. Hopefully that does the sealing that I needed to. Okay, now we have to go get the other one out. Alright, so that baby's way down here. I don't know how much space I got to turn on this, which is almost nothing. Because of that, I don't think I'll get anywhere on this. Oh boy. So I'm gonna need like a 1.25 inch deep well. All right, I had to go get a deep well, 1.25 inch drive. Hopefully it fits down there. Oh, nice. Don't want to fit around the boot. Oh, we'll make it work. There it goes. Got her. We'll get it off. See if we can get it off there. Okay. Just grab it with this. Should be able to spin it by hand now. Probably not a deep well. A normal one probably would have got me there. Probably better. Standard size. Alright, it's out. So right here, guys, you got the hose, and this is the hose with the last 4 digits of 1010. And I'm going to believe that this hose is going to go on to here and go on to my other side of my radiator. So let's put that on. You know, it's got the straight piece. It's the only place that makes sense. All right, if you guys are going to do this, watch out for these connections. You can easily strip these guys. They're just aluminum. So yeah, we got that going down through there, around. So, and this one's going to come up and go through this one. All right, I'm going to try to record this, see how good this works. All right, so I think I'm going to have this go into this. Well, maybe not now. Maybe we'll do that because I don't want to strip it, so I want to make sure. Now, you got to make sure, guys, see how loose this thing is, that we get her on right the first time. Okay, so yeah, and I could then figure out which one of these I probably want to be in. Try to hold that in place. All right, there's the first hose. I want to see how I look here. So okay, I don't have them tight. In fact, I'm going to loosen this one up a little bit. So I want to make sure we can move it to where I need to move it. And this is, let's put a lot of pressure on that. Well, we'll figure it out once we get the other lines on. So, okay. So the longest one goes to this side. Then the middle one will go on the middle, or on the back side, bottom back. Hose 1770 goes to the right side if you're looking at the truck, cooler line, and then it goes back to the transmission. It's the longest line. Then it's got to go back. I just took the sticker and stuck it on there so that way I could tell you what part number it is that goes there, because it isn't stated in the directions. So we will just let you know by us, and I gotta get that put through. I'm over there by the actuator, by the four-wheel drive, so I'm gonna pull that through back to the transmission. So I put my 1.25 inch deep well socket on there, and it came off beautiful. Got the new one started in there, cleaned up around it. I gotta do the bottom one, which goes to the radiator. Top one goes to the cooler. I wrote it right here. So cooler, lower rad, So that's the last one I gotta do, is the lower raid. So I'm gonna put my socket on here again. Let's see, did I just drop? I probably just dropped it in there. All right, guys, let's see. You guys want to watch this one? I mean, it wasn't that difficult. I mean, I don't know if watching is even important on this. I think everybody will get it. My hose might be in my way now, though. Sure as shit. Sure, guys, it's in my way. All right, we got to take it off. I was getting a little preemptive there. Let's see. I should put my little protector on it so I don't get dirt in there. Dirt might come down off this dirty thing. So this slips on. Wasn't even tight. Perfect, right in the fluid. What else we had to do? I think this transmission is been put in here. I don't think it's the original transmission because I got 56,025 written on the bottom of the transmission here. So that's kind of makes me think that it was salvage. And let's see. I gotta get that cleaned up there, I think. Around that, I'm gonna soak my rag with brake clean. Just wipe up there. Oh god, it would be nice to have a hoist. Would be nice. Oh. Let's see. Maybe you can see over here better. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap in there. We don't want that. Let's see. Okay, I think I got it pretty decent. Just one more thing, try to make sure I got the threads cleaned out here. All right, let's go get our last one. And we'll put some, well, it even says here, from cooler to cooler. Well, this is different than what this says, but I'm gonna go how it was hooked up, because I don't think from cooler. And this says the top one's from cooler, it says the bottom one's to cooler, and yeah. So let's go get our last one put in here. So if you guys could just probably make it out. It's right here. Yeah, I must have knocked some stuff. I must have knocked stuff in there because it's kind of gritty turning in. Hopefully that's okay. I don't know what else you could do. Now this is your 1 inch. I suppose I could just use my socket. Probably work just as good. Alright, put it on tighten. Let's snug it up. Not too tight now, because remember, those are just aluminum pieces. If you go full monkey on them, full banana, you'll probably strip them. So do that with caution. Don't go full banana on them. All right, now I'm gonna put this one back up. So make sure I'm in the right spot. You want to be careful threading these on. Now I'm not going to go super tight with these yet, because I got to get that other one ran down here yet. So I'm going to leave it somewhat loose so I can move it if I have to. So that way we can make adjustments. We're getting there. I just got one more to do. Let me get the 1-line hose and we'll get it up in there. And then we'll have to start make sure we got it ran where nothing's going to hit it. Zip tie, and I got those aluminum, anodized aluminum things to help hold things together. Let's talk about my Mishimoto transline cooler kit I bought for the 2005 Chevy Duramax, which is that truck right there, right? It's just a standard crew cab, long box. Granted, it's a long box. You know, a lot of people don't care for the long box, but I love it. 8-foot box is grand. I mean, yeah, it's not the greatest for turning or parking, but or putting it in the garage, it don't fit. I can tell you right now, it don't fit in the garage. The half-ton has a hard time fitting in the garage. So all the work I gotta do is on outside, which makes it a joy. So getting back to my Mishimoto kit, there's 3 lines in it. You got the one that goes from the upper of the radiator or the trans to the cooler, which is the longest hose, by the way, and it does have a 90 and a 45 on it. Then the next medium line that goes from the trans to the lower radiator connection, and in the directions it says that has a 45 on it. Well, in the kit I got has 2 90s. So I try to run it above the radiator hose, lower radiator hose. Well, that puts a real 90 degree in the hose itself. So basically it could kink because it's being pushed against the radiator shroud. And then it gets in the way of the other line coming up from the cooler on the other side going to the top hole of the radiator. So then it becomes actually dual issues. So if you run the 90 in it and you go straight down to go around, you gotta go around your idler arm and go back where the other hose goes and follows it like the stock hose did. It's tight. I mean, I got it on, but it is super tight as a guitar string right now. I mean, I wouldn't even want to start it up, because if I had the motor and I put a little torque on the motor, I could basically probably rip the nipple right out of the radiator, you know, because that's just a little aluminum little radiator, and that probably wouldn't work very well, guys. Or if it did work, I'd probably wear a hole in it so fast because it'd be just sawing on whatever going back and forth as you know, the engine's going or I'm driving. It'd be a totally bad situation. I'd probably blow the line. thing I was worried about the most before with the stock lines, I'd probably blow it. So needless to say, I am not going to run that. And you contact Mishimoto's customer service. The first day was great. I thought the guy he said, they email us and we'll get it handled and get it. Now I thought it was going to be at a relatively speedy pace. So I hung up from him, and then I emailed him like he says at support@mishimoto.com, and I didn't get a response back. That's kind of weird. Usually you think you'd get an automatic response saying, hey, we got your email, we'll get to it as soon as possible, Got nothing. So I went to the next day and I emailed them again. Did you get my email? And I didn't get nothing. So then I called him back again. I got a different guy, and he says, oh yeah, he searched for my email and he found it. At least now I know they got it. And now he goes, well, I'll pass it on to one of our techs. So then the tech contacted me that day and wanted more pictures and discussed what hoses I got in the kit. And I jogged it all down, took the pictures. I even sent them the receipt from me purchasing it, so they know I purchased it recently and brand new. So then it took them for like 3 or 4 days to get back to me on that. I was like, okay, well, now they're gonna send one back, just one courtesy they're gonna do this for me. Well guys, you should have checked that kit, because I could tell you right now what happened. I could tell you, because the direction says the 45 goes on the back bottom lower radiator back to the transmission on the medium length hose. There's no 45 on that hose. It's 290s. What they did is they changed it, said, hey, we got this hose. Hose should work for both of them. We're not going to make the 45 and make that special hose because we can't use it in multiple apps. So let's limit our inventory of how many type hoses we got, and we're going to do this. Which would be great if it was long enough, but it's not long enough. Then they didn't bother changing the instructions, saying that there's a 90 instead of a 45 in it. So that's where my stipulation is, that someone made a change there and they didn't research if the change was really going to work. And well, it really doesn't. I mean, it can get there, but you're tight. I mean, tight. You wouldn't want to run the truck with that hose that tight, and don't do it, guys. If you get the kit and it's stretched that tight, don't run it, because you're just going to rip something apart and you're going to regret it. So anyways, they said my truck was a one-off, something probably different about it. Nothing different about it. Thing's completely stock almost. There's no lift on it. The only thing I really have done to it is I changed out the turbo mouthpiece to an aftermarket piece, so I didn't have that restricted turbo mouthpiece. And that's about it. There's a couple of little things, but it's just an LLY Duramax with almost 300,000 miles on it. Pretty happy with it. The turbo is kind of failing on me. That's the unison rings getting stuck, but we know what it is and we know how to fix it. We just have to have the money to do it. So guys, it's one thing nice about it, I know what the problem is. I just gotta get to it. And it always gets stuck once in a while, basically when it sits. So I can guarantee it, when I go to start this thing, when I go start it, I will be having a unison sticking problem, and it's going to sound like that thing's going to be blasting off to Mars. I did change the sensor on, or the sensor, yes, the sensor. I changed that. It stopped it for a while, started working correctly, but now it's back to once in a while it gets stuck. And I'm sure what's happening is that there's a little tab in that unison ring. and it must slide up and down or something. I don't know exactly, turn or something. There must be a little groove on there and it's getting caught on it, and it's causing it to do that. That's the only thing I can figure. So right now it's not it does it once in a while. Well, basically when it sits, and this thing's been sitting, so it might get stuck. Hopefully not, but we hope that we will be able to function when we get our parts. So I just got done spraying out the cooling stack, focused on getting all this cleaned for the cooler, and I sprayed my condenser coil, sprayed as much, you know, it's really hard to get at this. The design on this truck, you know, they think they would made it so you could bolt it here and you could just tuck this off and peel this thing back and be able to get better access to these. No, you got to take this whole thing apart if you wanted to separate them all, and I didn't want to go there. So I just sprayed as much as I could in front, try to penetrate as much as I could. I used some coil cleaner on it. Hopefully that will help. You know, you should do it a couple times, you know, guys. Just keep flushing that. You know, with the LLYs, especially with the LLYs, they have heating issues. That's what everybody keeps telling me. And the only heating issue I had with it so far is that the cooling stack was dirty, and I had got a little warm one day because it was hot out, and my cooling stack was freaking just jam-packed, and I didn't realize that's what was happening. So after I sprayed it out, I've been running really good temperatures on the truck. So I don't really have that problem, but since I have it apart, I figured I had it open, I'd clean it out again. So right now I'm still waiting for my Mishimoto hose. That's the only hold up for me getting this thing back on its wheels. Otherwise it'd at least be on its wheels. I got the transmission all set. I actually poured a little fluid in it. So we're all set on that. We're just waiting for that hose so I can do that hose. Then she'll be able to drop her down and fill her up and run it around a little bit. Then we can start working on the rest of what we need to get done. All right, so this doesn't clamp back like it used to. I must have broke the tab off before I couldn't get it open, so I must have really did a number on it. So I drilled a hole so I could slip a zip tie through there, so I could secure it in the middle to keep it closed. All right, and then, so if you're looking at, this is the hose that I was sitting in the kit that doesn't fit right. So if you take this, you can see that will stay in there nice, snuggish, so we can put that back on to keep our stock placement of the hoses, which is nice. All right, they sent me, Mishimoto sent me, Mason was the guy that dealt with my ticket. Okay, so they sent me a straight one there coming off the bottom radiator. I really believe it should have been a 45 because we're still tight. Look how tight we are against everything here. I'm not really happy with it being tight against my intercooler boot, and it's almost right on top of the radiator. A 45 would have been just right. I could angle it and had it come down here, but they sent me a straight one. It'll work. I'm gonna put some, I think I'm gonna put a piece of foam on there or something to try to keep that from vibrating against each other, because I don't want to lose boost by getting a hole in my boot. I was getting that already from the inner fender, and that's when I put duct tape on it. It was starting to wear through my boot if it's just vibrating, guys. So I'm gonna go put that on. Let me see where I put it. Right here. So loose stuff already. I'm gonna put that on and zip tie those babies in and see how it works, see how it looks. All right, I got these tight. Got this one tight. Tightened these two. These are tight. I took a little piece of pipe insulation and stuck it between the radiator, lower radiator hose, and my intercooler thing right there, because I know how delicate that boot is in wear, so we want to try to, you know, make it sure it's snug and not vibrating against each other. Okay, got that. All right, guys, let's get under the beast. All right, I got those tightened up. I got my SN clamps on. This one's a little bit thicker than this one, so I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Hopefully not. I mean, it's tight on this one, it's not tight on that one. Alright, I put the stock. I got one in there. Try to keep the axle from hitting it. If it hits it, hopefully it hits the clamp. We'll see if I hear any ding ding, and I'll have to take another look at that, because I don't want it cutting into my hose. I got it on the stock one with the zip tie, remember, and I have it zip tied up there. Well, I should probably cut that. I have one zip tie got cut, and then we just gotta fill it with fluid, and we will have this part done. All right.